with the heat. Right now, we go party till we black out. So get the fuck up. So cover and duck, you're out of luck, we don't give up. Yeah, we're going up, next floor is us, you're riding with us. We want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, we go party till we black out. So get the fuck up.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe. And I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift
speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Middle of the championship where you got your first win at Simplay.
Yep. Season 1 race 2 was my maiden race win here at the famous circuit of Brno. We've just been having a discussion how to pronounce this track's name. We've all been calling it Brno in the previous times, and by the sounds of things, Jamie's done a little bit of research, and it's actually pronounced Brno. So there's all of us speaking this track name wrong for the whole time. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing. The track here is an old-school classic track. The original circuit was opened back in 1930, which was run on the original circuit of Brno, and it ran all the way until 1986. The original circuit also was 18.1 miles long. And we have got the MotoGP version here, which is 14 corners and an FIA Grade 2 track. Runs clockwise around as well. I did have the length of the circuit, but for some reason I don't have it written down. But nonetheless, this is a circuit that I believe most of the drivers absolutely hate driving at, don't they, Jamie? And but for us to watch, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so you look at the track map and you think it looks a very simple track. It doesn't look too challenging. None of the corners look too hard. But once you actually get out on the track and drive it, it's completely different. There's a thing that we should have probably seen Sutty hit around this track, which is the tyre stacks, which give your car massive amounts of damage if you hit them. As say, Sutty hit it and then went back to the pit, so drivers be looking to avoid them. But yeah, it's a challenging circuit. It's a flowing circuit, and there's a lot of changing it going uphill, downhill as well. So, and well, cars that have good change of direction will probably be good around here, and the track is very wide as well.
Yeah, definitely so, as I have now found the distance, and it's a 3.5 mile long circuit, 14 corners, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, and the definitely a circuit that's been designed and made for the motorbikes. So that's why you see the corners are very, very wide and very open. So it's more for motorbikes really than anything else. But we have held multiple different disciplines here. For example, the World Touring Cars have raced here, GT1 and F2 have raced here, also GT3s as well, but it's primarily a bike circuit, and I think that's what is one of the challenge here, Jamie, because it's designed primarily for bikes. The corners are much different to what other tracks would have, so the drivers will have to learn to adapt to these corners.
Yeah, so like that last corner there, that's a kind of a corner you've got to just be patient with picking up the foot. They don't actually race MotoGP here anymore. I think last year they didn't race it because of the track surface being a bit bad, and the people at Brno didn't want to upgrade the track, so MotoGP no longer come here.
As PN says in the chat, the comms are very quiet tonight, so I don't know if that's my end. So we'll just make a few changements a minute. Give me a moment, guys, as I just changed the volumes. We should be able to sort that out momentarily. So I hope that's a little bit better, but hopefully everyone should be able to hear us a little bit better. But let's talk about the Brno a little bit more. JB, is this a track that you tend to like, or is it more of a circuit that you tend to try and stay away from?
Oh no, I definitely like this circuit. I think I've only actually ever raced it at Simplay once back in season 1. I took a double win here in the fog and the rain. So yes, a track I definitely like. As well, yeah. Got another fact about the track. Anyone that used to watch MotoGP would probably remember the name of Karel Abraham. Well, he was a Czech rider, and his parents own this track.
Ah, well, that's interesting to know. But definitely a circuit that is really going to challenge these drivers here this evening, and also I feel like the lap records might be difficult to break here, as the lap record is currently held for the race anyway. Oh, Overtaker's had a big moment there.
Yeah.
Race is actually held by a McLaren of BT Targa back in season 5, and the race record is a 1 minute 59.7, and the quality record once again goes to the BMW of Andy, and he done a 158.0, and I'll be impressed if any of those guys will get near that lap time here this evening. But it's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing. We've got a few people in the chat. We've got Smithy, Mummy D in the chat. We've also got Fury's Grandad, so good evening to all you guys in there, and looking forward to a good night's worth of racing. But after a week out last week, Overtaker is back on the grid once again, and he's got a lot of catching up to do, because Matt has done a lot of work over the time and has managed to bring the championship down to 8 points between these two. So Overtaker, Jamie, has really got to get back on the loud pedal, making sure he extends his gap. Yeah,
he does indeed. The only thing though for Matt is that he's really been struggling with this track. The Mercedes not seeming to suit the track at all. It was Overtaker's lost it coming out of there, and I think he's just tapped the wall. But yeah, the Mercedes is struggling around here tonight, so maybe it's going to be a bit of damage limitation from Matt tonight, knowing that next week is Daytona, where his car is going to be mighty.
Yeah, definitely.
Overtaker is now going to have to be a bit more cautious when it comes to his races, because if he makes a mistake, and you look back at the last race he was here, Silverstone Classic, where he didn't have the best of nights, he might end up losing the championship lead to Matt.
Definitely so. As also, just a reminder as well, we are going to be missing 3 drivers so far this evening. We don't have Gary 131. We don't have Nick also. He's currently away, but we should hopefully get Monkey Boy in for a race 2, but he will miss race 1. And Emo Guy, we are still waiting to see if he will turn up. But at the minute, Jamie, it is Embrava in the Mercedes who leads practice at the minute, but surely the Mercedes-Benz, as you say, really going to struggle here. Out of all the cars that are currently on the grid here this evening, which do you think looks the best for this circuit?
I don't know really. I mean, I always say the Audi, but I'd say possibly the Ferrari. You look at Piesol at the minute; he's only 6 tenths off Emplava. So there are quite a few long straights. It's just how the corners are laid out that you just got to have, the car's just got to be good at changing direction. You look at this corner, you're going left and then straight right. So a car having a good change of direction is crucial for you as you come down the hill towards the hairpin. Got to make sure the car's good on the brakes and doesn't run away. You just want to kiss the apex there and then just let it run onto the curb. But yeah, I think I'd say possibly the Ferrari or even the Lamborghini is would be good. But as I say, I don't want to say the Audi. D-Biggs has just gone quicker than Emplava by 0.3 of a second.
Well, I was actually going to say probably the Audi and the Lamborghini are probably your best bet for this circuit, as I believe that is really the three cars that have been selected this season. There's no really any other choices this season. It's really been Mercedes, Lambo or Audi. So as also I just want to say, Lucas Ruff, I love you too. And but yeah, the Audi looking strong already in Biggs' hand, but Biggs has always gone really well here, especially in that Audi, as season one, his best record positionings was actually a 4th place in race 2 here. He seems to do better in race 2. He's had a 4th and a 2nd is his best at this circuit. He hasn't been that best in race 1, a 10th and a 6th. But D Biggs has always gone relatively well around here, so maybe his consistency would carry on here at Brno.
Yeah, maybe. But we say about D-Biggs being quick, but the other Audi, or the other 2 Audis on the grid at the minute of Argent and Max haven't put in a decent lap time. Max is 4 seconds off the pace at the minute, which he can probably do a better lap. You can just see him in front. Argent is 2.9 off his teammate, so hopefully Argent's got some more time. But maybe it's just that D-Biggs has just got the track knowledge round here, and this is a track that he loves.
Possibly so. I do also know, I've heard a bit of rumours going around that Overtaker has been into the 58, so we have to keep an eye out on that as well, as he's currently still in the pits. And also, as we are on board with this man at this precise minute, Emplava Smoking Hot Racing, this week, this round will also be a milestone for this man. Race 1 will be Emplava's 50th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport. Can he convert that into a race win? At the minute, he is in the top 3, so maybe Emplava will be possible to get himself up on the top end of the podium, as he's just getting a little bit of a toe off Max as he comes into the final sector. And it's probably a good thing there's not a little bit of rain lingering around, because as you know, Jamie, coming into this final corner, when there's rain, this track becomes a river in this final corner.
Oh yeah, it becomes horrible through that final corner. As Emplava improved by 0.05 of a second, doesn't jump up to second, and that's Matt in second at the minute, only a 10th and a half off D-Biggs. But yeah, that final corner is horrible in the wet, so the guys will be glad that there's no wet weather tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So there is some rain lurking around, but I don't think it's going to be heavy enough. Fury, this man currently trying to chase down the top 2, and while we talk about the top 2, let's have a run through of the constructors. Let's have a chat of the drivers and constructors, and it is still Overtaker who leads the way on 284 points, and he's got an 8-gap advantage over Matimovic in second. Then it's this man in P3, Fury. He's currently 72 points behind the top top 2. And then it's P4 is the man of Sati Apex in the Autosport Pro Labs Lamborghini. He's quite a bit way off on 156 points. He's ahead of Gary131, who's P5, who's not able to race here this evening. And then P6 is Peaceful Explosion, doing it for Simplay Racing in the Ferrari. And then P7 is D-Biggs. P8 is Emplava, and then 9th is Andy. 10th is Emo Guy, and 11th is Smoky Devil. Mazda is in that 12th place position. Haven't seen Mazda for a while. Hopefully he should be able to get back into the session this evening, or is he still very busy at the minute? 13th place is KLF, and then 14th is Argent, 15th is Monkey Boy, 16th is Neek, 17th is Disco, and Max Mulder bringing up the rear in the Drivers' Championship. Regarding constructors, it is Jaeger Motorsport leading the way, and they got a 46 gap over Silence of the Lambos, who's pretty much running solo at the minute with no emo guy for a couple of weeks now. Overtake has really been scoring the points on his own. And then P3 is Teletubby Motorsport once again on their own with Just Fury. That's allowing Jaeger Motorsport to extend that gap to those two. And then P4 is Audio Sports Pro Labs, who are just starting to sneak on the back of Teletubby Motorsport, as does both drivers are scoring consistently each week. P5 is Smoking Hot Racing, with P6 is Simplay Racing. P7 is Pushing Limits Racing. P8 is Slingshot Motorsport, and 9th is Sneaker Academy. And that is your Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. Overtake is still leading the way, though, Jamie. 8 points between him and Matt, and it's a long way to go yet to the end of the season, and 4 circuits that's going to benefit each car, really. There are going to be 2 circuits where the Mercedes will be strong, and technically 2 circuits where the Lamborghini should be strong.
Yeah, so definitely ebb and flow between the pair. But say with Gary not being here tonight, it kind of, well, Gary's not here and Emo Guy's not here. It doesn't really change a lot for the constructors. But if Matt has a bad night and Overtaker has a really good night, that could bring Silence of the Lambos back into the constructors. Where on the other foot, if Overtaker has a bad night and Matt has a very good night, it could put Silence of the Lambos possibly out of reach of the constructors. I think there's how many rounds is there after this one?
I believe there's 3 after this one.
Yeah, so if Jaeger Motorsport can open up a bit of a gap in the constructors tonight, it might be a bit too far for something to the Lambos to reach.
It's definitely going to be an interesting end of the season, with obviously Daytona in the next round of the championships, which will definitely benefit the Mercedes-Benz. Then it's Oschersleben, and again, more of a downforce chassis circuit, and the Lamborghini should be strong there. And then finishing off at Monza, which again, on paper, should be Mercedes power, but sometimes the Mercedes actually hasn't been that successful at Monza. It's actually been the Porsche 911 that's been more successful at Monza than any other car. So, really, the Mercedes has it all to do towards the end of this season.
It does indeed, and say we're getting it. I'll say it's going to keep getting warmer and warmer at the minute, so that's kind of going to help the Mercedes a bit, because we know Matt has said that the Mercedes does not work well in the winter on soft tyres. So with it getting warmer and warmer, and Matt can use the hard tyres to his advantage.
Yeah, definitely. So for this man though, Arjun, he's not had the best of seasons. He's had a couple of good moments and a bit of mediocre moments as well. He's really been struggling to get used to the Audi, and a new car to him, especially for running the Mercedes for such a long time. But he's got an experienced teammate with him. But Arjun, he's just struggling to find his feet this season, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I just don't think he just hasn't got himself into a rhythm, because he's been away quite for a few weeks as well, and it's not like where he's been away for like a week and then, or for like, I can't remember how many times he's been away, but not all in one go. He's been away, come back, been away, come back. So he's never been able to really get any consistency. He comes into the pits now.
He does come into the pits, and as you can see, practice in the pit lane. There's currently a poll going out for who you think is going to take pole position, and then we're on to this man, KLF 900. Not the best round at Hockenheim, ended up in an incident in race 2. And we're talking about Arjun quickly. I've actually got his best result this season, which was a 6th place position at Hockenheim. And then we go on to this man, KLF, who's his best result here this season has only been an 8th, and he's done that 5 times this season. So he hasn't got any higher than 8th place position. So for Kelly, it's really been a struggle in this Lamborghini.
Yeah, it has. He's finally managed to pry Zemplava's Mercedes out of the side of his Lamborghini and got it all prepared for tonight. Yeah, Kelly. I think Kelly's driving style might might be good around this circuit, because Kelly's quite is a person who'll be quite. He isn't the quickest, but he's the most consistent. And with this being quite a tricky track, I reckon Kelly could make up some places quite easily.
Yeah, definitely so, and definitely a track where Kelly can really benefit, and he comes across the line now. Does he improve? No, he's just working on a race pace by the looks of things, so currently a bit off the pace at the minute, but again, anything can happen here. It's with this type of circuit as well, Brno, there's so many opportunities where you could think you could take it down the inside, but then the outside car can still hang it wide, and all that lot can happen consistently around the track, and it's definitely a circuit you have to be on your A game. But, Jamie, if you were looking here tonight and just having a quick look in the running order, out of all the drivers here this evening, who do you think is probably going to be the best man to take the opportunities tonight?
I'm going to say D Biggs at the minute. He looks very quick. Overtaker's down in 9th, but I reckon he's got a few of the special peaceful sandbags in the back of his Lamborghini. So I reckon there's more to give from Overtaker. But I reckon D Biggs. I reckon that Audi's going to be good. Always Kelly. Yeah, Kelly's fun. Can he flick it back the right way? He's got no one coming.
No, he goes
back to the pits. But yeah, this man made quite an interesting point earlier in the week about how many different lines there are around the circuit, especially turns 1 and 2, because turn 1 is quite a long corner, so you can stick it to the inside, stick it to the outside, and you can take everyone. I think everyone takes turn 1 that little bit different, whether they go faster through turn 1, then when they come back, they let the car run out wide or go wide for turn 1. So it'd be interesting to see that, and as well on the run up to the end of sector 1, people for the little chicane or for the chicane might have a different line. Who's that just in front? Can't quite see.
Sounds like an Audi.
Yeah, is that Argent? No, it isn't.
Is it Max? Max is in the pit, so it might not be an Audi then. It might be. No, not Sati Apex.
It's Overtaker. So you're half right.
I had the right group. It's definitely part of the Volkswagen group.
Yeah, and there you go. Overtaker does a 158.3.
Well, I think D-Biggs is going to be the man to keep an eye on this tonight. But Sati Apex, he comes to the line now. What does his lap time produce? He just improves, but doesn't get any higher than 7th. A man who I thought would have been quite successful around here at Brno, but back in Season 1, he was the most successful man here in Season 1. He took a win and a 2nd place. So Sati Apex, keep an eye out for him later on. But Season 5 didn't go his way. He had 11th and a 10th, but he was in the McLaren, a car he really didn't enjoy driving. So keep an eye on Sati Apex in that Lamborghini. As Fury now coming to the final sector here, and we knew that Overtaker was holding on to some sandbags there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he let the sandbags loose on the set.
The problem he's going to have, though, Jamie, with this being such a long track, and if he was on hard tyres, he needs to make sure he gets them fired straight away. Because if he doesn't, he's really going to struggle. And if he makes any mistakes, that's the problem with a circuit like this, with it taking so long to get around. You really got to rely on your first couple of laps to be a good banker. Yeah,
you got to rely on that first lap to be a good lap, because if you start making mistakes on your qualifying laps, by the time you've done your out lap and then done the end of your first flying lap, half the session's gone.
It is, as Overtaker leads the practice session ahead of D-Biggs and Matimovic. There is a poll out currently on who you think will take pole position. Is going the way of Matimovic at the minute. 43 to his name, 29 to Biggs, and then Enbrava and Overtaker equal on 14 points. Get your votes in, guys, and if you think someone else will take pole position, then put it in the chat, as I've just ended it, so that's ruined that.
Matt and Kelly have both got grid penalties.
Oh, no.
Both got a 1-place grid penalty, so Matt definitely not going to be happy with that, because if Overtaker does get pole and it's Prava who's leading the pack.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo will
But
start
yeah,
it
Matt won't be
here.
happy.
He will not be happy. Bravo will start the qualifier session here. And the man who will make his 50th appearance in race 1 here. Can he carry on his consistency this season? He's been up and down throughout the season. His best finishing position this season, as I look at my notes, was a second, and that was at Spa. Can he emulate that here and do another podium as well? Last time we were here for him, he was actually in Pro-Am, and he came third and second in both race 1 and 2. So Bravo does relatively round Brno as well. So we'll see how he gets on.
Yeah, well, Fury at the minute in the pit, so he's waiting, but if you say Emplava's halfway around the track and Fury's now on his way out of the pits, but already 1.5 minutes have gone off the session, so by the time he gets around to it, probably be near enough about 6 minutes left of the session by the time he comes round.
It's going to take him a while to get round, but it will be Bravo who will start the first lap here. And also a reminder to everybody who's currently watching, if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And thank you to everybody who has. We are now at 300 subscribers. The next milestone is 400. Let's get as many subscribers on this channel as we possibly can, as we try to expand the channel as much as we possibly can. Hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at Simplay Motorsport. You can keep up to date with all the Pro and Pro-Am championships, and also the F2 that is on a Sunday night. And speaking of F2, make sure you tune in on Simplay Motorsport at 7 o'clock British time, as we will be live for the 3rd round of the championship. Can Jamie continue his winning streak of taking 2 race wins at Portugal, or will myself and Gary be able to take the fight to him, or will Fury or any of the other guys in the F2, as we all head towards Spain for Barcelona, Circuit de Catalunya for the next round of the championship? But we are focusing here on the Czechoslovakian Grand Prix here at Brno. And Jamie, already Bravo, you can just see how patient he's having to be.
Yeah, he is. You see how tight that corner is, and a bit down a little straight here. Then you've got to be tight to this corner, but not too tight, so you hit those tires. Wide out, tight in, and wide out again. You have to be so patient around the track. Anyone who's got a heavy right foot is going to struggle around this section. This is probably where the Audi makes up a lot of its time.
For me, I think this circuit, most of the corners seems to be a late apex corner. I think most of them you really want to try and get the car in a nice flowing section, especially that middle sector there. You can see Bravo was just struggling with understeer as he was coming out of corners. A lot of these corners, to me, are very late apex, because the car just wants to naturally drift wide. And if you do hit that late apex, the car seems to turn and go quicker on those corners. As we got Holty and Fury Smart all in the chat, Peaceful Stepdad as well, and PN all in the chat, as Carlin has no fuel, says PN. No, because they've all given it to me. But Bravo now coming up the hill, and look already, Jamie, we're 5 minutes into this session and no one set a lap time yet. It is going to be Bravo to set the first lap time. He gets very close to those tyre walls.
Yeah, nearly gets onto the grass there. Just got to run it wide at the last corner, towards the line. If it's a good lap, and he hasn't set a lap time. Has he hit a tyre wall? Has he?
Obviously, if you just scrape one of the tyre walls, you do lose that lap time. And overtake a bang, 58.7, and Matt Ivovic goes there 59.8. So Matt, although he's got a good lap time, he's going to get himself a grid penalty no matter what happens here. Biggs goes into P3, KLF goes P5, Peaceful now, P4. Who's that in the background? Looks like a Mercedes. It's Smokey Devil towards the line. What will Smokey do now? He will go P7. Is next on track, I think, will be Sutty. No, it's Max.
Next. What can Max do? Comes towards the line.
P5.
He goes 5th, and next
Matt is in the pits.
Yeah, Matt's in the pits. Emplava's in the pits, so Emplava's having a few problems. Sutty goes 4th, so Sutty is on the controller.
He told me he was going to be on the wheel. Lies from Sutty Apex as Fury now comes up the hill for Teletubby Motorsport. What can he do as Sutty Apex returns back to the pit? So he'll have to get out as quickly as he possibly can. But Fury towards the line. Maybe this was not a bad strategy from Fury. He's got nice clear air, no cars in his way, and you're able to set a decent lap time as you come into the final corner. Fury CBK, your touring car champion. What can he do here towards the line in the Mercedes-Benz? And it's P7.
Only P7. You heard him through that final corner, how much he had to keep lifting off and on the throttle. Who's first to come across the line? It'll be D-Biggs is 6/10 up as well. He's got that Audi very hooked up, but it's the man behind who's got his Lamborghini even better. And his overtaker going to improve on his lap time. D-Biggs will come to the line first. He comes to the final set of corners. Hits that apex quite nicely. Comes
as overtaker goes very wide in the background. So D-Biggs on his way. He was on the 6/10 up on his best lap towards the line. Has he improved? He does. It goes P2.
Overtaker, he improves as well. And overtaker goes straight back to the pits. Who have we got next across the line? It's not Sutty. Piesel's now coming across the line. I think it was Argent. Argent jumps ahead of Kelly. And Piesel goes P4. Who's that?
That's KLF in the background. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. Then it's Smokey Devil by the list of things. And towards the line, he improves and goes up to 9th. So Smokey up on the place there. Emplava, the only one not to set a lap time here on his 50th appearance here. And he hasn't got a lap time on the board. And he's running out of time here, Jamie.
He is indeed. He must be just behind Max or just coming into the last sector. I think Overtaker might be done for the session here. Max doesn't improve. Is that Emplava right?
That is Emplava. So Emplava, he's going to get 2 laps here if he's smart here. He should get 2 laps out of this. And I think Argent was just coming to it's Matt coming across the line. He's on an out lap as well. So it's interesting now. Overtaker does come back out. So maybe he's just coming out just to cover. Sutty also comes back out of the pit. So at the minute, it's Overtaker on pole position, but D-Biggs is trying to send it to him. He's only 7/10 off him at the minute, though.
Yeah, he is indeed. And Piesel will be starting P3. D-Biggs now goes back to the pits. He needs to be very quick if he wants to get another lap in.
I don't think he will.
I think
he's moving.
His car's moving now, but I think he's run out of time.
He won't get out in time at all unless he tries to cut a couple corners, but he won't be able to do that. As Fury towards line, does he improve? No, he's on an out lap.
So who have we got next? It won't be Overtaker. So who is next?
Peaceful Explosion.
Peaceful Explosion. So Peaceful currently fourth in qualifying, but due to Matt's penalty, will go up to P3. Kelly's just behind, so can Kelly improve on 10th, but he'll drop to 11th if Emplava doesn't get a lap time in or beat Kelly's lap time.
Oh, that was a poor final corner there from Peaceful. He was all over the shot towards the line now. He doesn't improve. There's time to be had there because he's made so much mistake going into that final corner. KLF towards the line, does he improve? No, he doesn't.
Loki does though and goes above Fury. Who have we got coming to the final corner now? Max is slow. I think he's hit the wall. So who is it coming toward? It's Argent. Argent, can he improve on his time? No, I think that was an outlap as well.
I think everybody all the way down to Overtaker should be able to get one more lap in. As Emplava, has he finally got a lap time on the board, and where's he going to put him? 10th.
Only puts him 10th, but he's got one more bite of the cherry.
So he goes into turn 1. Very easy to get turn 1 wrong. As Overtaker comes towards the line, he's dragging Sutty Apex with him, and he flashes the lights, and he's probably not going to improve on his lap time. So he's going to give it a go anyway, but Sutty Apex P5.
That's Max off, so Max is not going to improve. He might not even get to the line. Is he going to come into the pits? Yeah, he's going to come into the pits, but he's coming through the wrong pit exit, or pit entrance, but it's not too big a deal because he's not interrupted anyone. Matt is done, Peaceful's done, Smokey's done, Emplava's done, Kelly's done. Who have we got coming to the final quarter?
Biggs didn't make it. Biggs did not make it to the line, so he's going straight in the pits. Fury, he does not improve and stays P8. So Fury really struggling here and is not able to take the fight. Overtaker really hasn't got any threat. He is on pole position at the minute. It's just Sutty Apex can really attack him, and I don't think Sutty's got a lap time really underneath him to attack him.
No, he might be. I think what Sutty's probably going to be looking for is to find those 3/10 to jump Peaceful, because even if he finds 3/10, it gains him 2 positions, and he'll start the second row of the grid, but he's always drift.
We'll see.
There, he's not going to
We'll see what his sector time is as Fury is done for the session. It's just Overtaker and Sutty Apex who we are waiting for as they come to the final beacon here. And Sutty, you can just see him just struggling with that car ever so slightly. Towards the line he comes of sector 2. Is he up? Doesn't say. So we're not going to know Sutty's lap time.
He's high up the curb as well.
He was very high, and he's done. So it is Overtaker who takes pole position here for round 17 of the championship. Then it'll be D Biggs in second. Third is Matimovic. Fourth is Peaceful Explosion. Fifth is Sutty Apex. Sixth is Max. Seventh is Smoky Devil. Eighth is Fury. Ninth is Argent. 10th is Emprava. And KLF bringing up the rear. And Jamie, Overtaker once again stepping his authority here at Simplay Motorsport, taking another pole position here, and was going to run through the pole position record as Gary, who leads at the moment on this grid with most pole position with 19. Fury and Mazda matching on 13. Matt is on 4th place with 11 pole positions. Monkey Boy has actually got 7, and he's 5th on the list. 6th is Sutty Apex with 7. 7 is Argent with 7 as well. 8th is Peaceful. He's got 6 pole positions. And he now matches with Overtaker, who now moves himself up to 9th with 6 pole positions to his name, with Emperor with 5, Smoky Devil with 4, D Biggs also with 4, KLF with 2 to his name, Emo Guy only 1 pole position to himself, and Neek is in at the bottom of the list, and Max has 2. Smithy says in the chat, Undertaker give you a run, I reckon, and Dubs, and we'll have to find out next season what I can do against Overtaker, because hopefully I'll be able to make my return. But Jamie, going into this race, Overtaker takes another pole position. He now goes on to 6, matching Peaceful. He's got to look favourite for this race, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's going to be the favourite for this race. Say being 7/10 quicker in qualifying. It's a gap we'd normally see in F1 in qualifying, not GT3. GT3 is normally in GT3 qualifying you'd see a few hundredths of a second, but not 7/10 of a second. Yeah, Overtaker's you got to put your money on Overtaker for this one. But the man in second place, I reckon if he gets a good start, he'll be looking at the inside, and he's got the inside line as well. So he's going to be hoping that Overtaker has a bad start. Peaceful behind, he could get a good start, and Matt in the Mercedes, he's just going to probably be quite patient throughout this race.
Yeah, and a poll's just gone up for who people think is going to take the first race of the season. As Fury forgot to put fuel in, as we all sync up here for round 17 of the GT3 Pro Championship. The lights come on, the res rise, Overtaker on pole, and we're green here, and Biggs did not get the start he would have wanted. Fairly even behind him though with Peaceful. Peaceful with a great start and is right on the back of Overtaker, just moving so slightly there, but Peaceful going into turn 1, and he's going to send it. He's got nothing to lose, and he's going into turn 1. Peaceful Explosion after turn 1 will lead this race, but Overtaker's hanging it strong on the outsides as the rest of the cars funnel behind, and it is Peaceful Explosion. Oh, they come together.
Yeah, they come together there. Overtaker's going to have the inside for this quarter, but his Peaceful going to be braver on the brakes. You got D Biggs looking round outside as well. Peaceful's hanging it round the outside, but has Overtaker got the inside for this corner? No, Peaceful's still there, but Overtaker's going to keep coming, and he's now got P1 back. Matt is still in P4. Max has had a very good start. He's up into 5th place.
Yeah, Peaceful's got to be really patient here. He's got nothing to lose here. Peaceful wants the race win, while on the other side, Overtaker really needs to think points here, because if Matt has a good opportunity to score points, he will try his best. But Matt has had a fairly average start. He's still in P4, but he's got a lot of pressure as Fury's had some decent start here. He's up into 6th place position, as Kelly's also had a great start. He's up into 9th place. The biggest loser out of all that was Argent. He's dropped to the back of the pack.
Yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't indeed. Overtaker's now got 7/10 gap already, so he's starting to leave Peaceful for dead.
A reminder here, though, Jamie, that this track is all about patience and keeping it consistent. Although Overtaker may be leading after lap 1, he has got to stay in front for 15 laps. The pit window opens at the end of lap 3 and will close at the end of lap 10. So these guys know exactly when they need to pit, and if they do not pit within that window, they need to either they will have to pit again, or if they pit past it, they will be getting a penalty for sure. And Kelly just dropping down the order now. He's now under pressure for margin here as Smoky Devil has gone very wide in the third to last corner there, and these guys just seem to be off the pace a little bit, these three.
Yeah, Kelly got on the grass coming out of the hairpin. Now D-Biggs has got Matt on the back of him and then pacing out Mercedes. He might be having a look into turn 1. These two have had a bit of argy-bargy before. Who's that looking? That is Fury on Max. So the Mercedes looking at the other Audi. Fury to the inside. Max is going to try and hold it right around the outside, but he's gone too deep there. He's going to try and look.
Oh, Fury's dropped it!
Fury's dropped it. So he takes avoiding action, but in turn loses the place to Emplava. So Max keeps that position. What's happened to Smokey? Smokey's dropped right off the back. I think he's had a spin at turn 1. Yeah, he's very, very slow there.
So yeah, Peaceful Explosion currently in that second place position and doing a very good job of holding on. Biggs at the minute is keeping Matt behind him, and just so you can see, the Mercedes just doesn't have any answer to the top 3 cars at the minute. The Audi, the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Matt's Mercedes just not able to stick with him. He's right on the back of Biggs now, but Biggs running a little bit wide through the 2 right kinks there. And so far so good from the Pro Boys. No real incidences so far, and we're all relatively clean. Yeah,
we're relatively clean, is it? I thought a car had just spun in the background, but no. Argent's now managed to make his way up to 8th, so after having a poor start, he's now up into 8th place, but he's 4 seconds off the back of Apex, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. But I think D-Biggs, Peaceful and Matt, they just don't have the pace of Overtaker, because Overtaker is 2.4 up the road already.
And just a reminder as well, Overtaker will have to just again, anything can still happen though, Jamie. We're only on lap 2 of 15. Overtaker could just push a little bit too hard, spin the car, and he could be back in the swarm of the pack. But he's not really that far. He's only 2.5 seconds away from Peaceful, so it's still opportunity for Peaceful to try and take advantage if Overtaker makes a mistake. And all it takes is just touching one of those tyre walls, and you're going to carry significant damage for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it does. Does indeed. I think Kelly's had a mistake as well, because he's now dropped behind Fury and he's got Smoky Devil right on the back of him.
He has indeed. There is Smoky Devil and KLF who are actually side by side. Smoky's going to go around the outside, and at the minute Smoky Devil can't do anything about it. KLF is just holding on to that position while Smoky's looking left, right and centre, but he can't find a way past the Lamborghini right now. As we now head to turn 1, and it is Smoky Devil still behind the Lamborghini of KLF. Overtaker leading the way at the end, the start of lap 3. With D-Biggs now into second place. What has happened to Peaceful? He's dropped down to 4th place position, and Matt is in 3rd. So Peaceful's dropped to 4th now. Maybe had a wiggle or a mistake from Peaceful, and he's dropped down the order. There's Zutty. As we go back on Peaceful a minute. Let's go back on Peaceful. Has he got damage to the front of his car? No, he hasn't. I thought he had damage, but Peaceful, he's had a spin by the looks of things. And Max now is in P5, Emprava in P6, 7th is Argent, 8th is Sati Apex, 9th is Fury, 10th is KLF, and 11th is Smoky Devil.
Yeah, Emprava is right on the back of Max now and is hounding the young Dutch driver. Matt now up into P3. Max has gone quite tight to the corner. Is this going to present Emprava with a chance? But no, the Audi parks it on the Apex and doesn't allow Emprava run underneath. Peaceful's now starting to get away again. Emplava looking to the inside at the hairpin, but Max, he's gone deep there. Emplava's going to be up the inside, but Max is going to have the inside for the next corner, and I think Max has just kept that position.
He has the better drive as well, when Max stays in front of Emplava. Emplava now really starting to put pressure on Max here, maybe try and undercut him in the pits.
Yeah, maybe, but I think Emplava needs to get through as Emplava goes onto the grass. He needs to get through here, because if not, Peaceful's going to start to disappear up the road. Max goes wide again, but it's not too bad because he has the inside. Now this is where the power of the Mercedes comes into its own. Max, he covers the middle of the track, Emplover's going to try it around the outside.
That's pit window.
Is Emplover. He's got a little bit of no. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 3. No, the Audi's still got it. So very good defending. Sutty's in the pits already.
Sutty is already in the pits as the pit window has opened at the end of lap 3. They have until lap 10 to get into the pits. The Sutty Apex there is in the pits as the camera's gone really weird for a second there. And it's always like this at Brno. Once again, the camera just doesn't like this track for some reason. Always glitches out at that part of the circuit. But Big's under a little bit more pressure from Matt here. And like I said, Peaceful losing out. He's not able to stick with those two.
No, Biggs has actually gapped Matt. On that last lap, Biggs was half a second quicker, and the gap's gone up to 1.2. So Biggs is actually getting away from Matt here and trying to put himself out of touch in distance. It'll be interesting to see what Peaceful's next lap is, because obviously he had a mistake last lap, to see whether he's going to close in on the back of Matt Hemovich. We'll go back to Emplava and Max.
As Emplava is still looking to find a way past Max. And a lot of guys give Overtaker a lot of praise at the minute, saying that he's very, very quick. But he doesn't get a lot of airtime because he is that far in front. We don't get to see him very much. But Emplava still looking to try and find a way past on Max. And two young guys here trying to find their way through. And I feel like I've got a sneeze coming along. So apologies for that, but Emplava still looking for an opportunity to get past. Possibly an undercut is probably on the cards for Emplava, because he's just getting stuck behind the back of Max right now.
Yeah, he is indeed. You can see Peaceful starting to get away, and they will have a look what Peaceful's lap time is, because he's back across the line as Emplava ducked into the pit lane. What is Peaceful's last lap time? He was actually another second slower than Matt last lap. Max not on the pace at all. Argent's come in as well. What about Fury? Fury's staying out. What about Kelly? Has Kelly got... No, I thought Kelly had a bit of damage. He looks like he's... No, he's going to continue on. Smokey continues.
You have to stay out because Emplava's in the pits.
pits.
His teammate's in the pits, so he won't be able to pit on the same time. Sutty Apex is the lead car that has pitted, and already Emplava's already back out. So Sutty might have had damage or something. So possibly damage for Sutty to fix. Thought you had a podium last night, but says Welshie in the chat. Welshie just missed out on the podium. Actually got 4th place last night. But is Matt now just getting in a little bit closer to the back of D-Biggs. 2/10 he was faster than D-Biggs that last lap. But right now these two have no pace compared to Overtaker, who is long gone in the distance.
Yeah, Overtaker is long gone. He was 1.4. He was 1.4 seconds a lap quicker that last lap than Matt. No one is near. Actually, no. Sorry, he was a second quicker than Matt last lap. But yeah, no one's able to get near his pace.
The only man in the 2 minutes, everyone else in the 2:01s or 2:02s. So right now, Overtaker not quite got the race record at the minute, which is still held by BT Tiger of a 159.7. So if we suddenly see a 159.6, then we know Overtaker has taken the record here. And also, he didn't beat the record for qualifying, which was a 158.0 of Andy. So arguably, if Andy was here racing, he'd probably give Overtaker a very good run for his money. But sadly, we lost Andy towards the end of the season. And also, no BT Tiger, no Team Pro Laps no more. So as Biggs is now opted to go for the pit.
Yeah, he saw Matt right behind him. So Biggs comes into the pit. Max continues. Emplava is now trying to get past the widest Lamborghini on the track, as KLF now places his car to the inside. Emplava looks around the outside, and he's just a lot better on the brakes. It's a bit more challenging for Kelly to defend around here due to just how wide the track is. As Peaceful made a mistake because Max is now right on the back.
Looks like he has made a mistake, possibly in turn 1. So Peaceful Explosion not really doing the best job here after a very, very good start, and was giving Overtaker pressure on lap 1. It's gone a little bit wrong since, and I think Max has made a mistake there, as he's dropped right off the back of Peaceful there.
He has made a mistake. The cameraman wouldn't show it to us, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, there's a good old fight between Fury, Sutty, and Arjun right now, and all these guys have pitted. Biggs has already come out of the pits, and he's got a very good gap over M. Prava, neck end of 8 seconds between those two. So M. Prava not able quite to catch on to the back of it, but hopefully with him pitting early, he should be able to get back on his proper race pace and try and gain on the leaders as he possibly can. Sutty Apex still struggling to find a way past Fury, and two drivers that are really struggling I thought would have been a lot better here. Fury and Sutty really not showing the pace they should.
No, say Fury might say a pair of them might not have had the time for testing, and well, Fury definitely, because that Mercedes just doesn't look comfortable, and it doesn't look like he's got to grips with the track. Sutty is closing in on him. He's half a second behind, and can probably smell the exhaust tips of that Mercedes.
Possibly so, as Overtaker crosses the line. He has a 10-second gap over Matt, who has come into the pit. So Matt serves his pit stop. Still waiting on Smokey, Peaceful, Overtaker, Max, and KLF all to come into the pit. And Peaceful does tend to take his pit stop now, as he gets that done and out of the way. We're still waiting on Max, KLF, and Overtaker as well. And so far, so good so far, Jamie, because nothing is written in my notebook, but it all might change after race 2 as Matt comes back out on track, and he's right behind D Biggs. He's literally right behind him, less than half a second between those two as Biggs exits the pits, and Sutty Apex now still trying to get onto the back of Fury here.
Yeah, he just can't get onto the back, and I think Biggs has stayed in front of Matt. He has indeed.
But Biggs has a wiggle. He had a very, very big wiggle there as those two are racing out on track. Peaceful drops it in the background. Has Emperor managed to avoid him? Yes, he has.
Yeah, Peaceful has done his signature Peaceful pirouette and drops down to 8th place now.
So Peaceful there doing his typical pirouette, has dropped it and has gone all the way back down to 8th place position behind KLF and Smokey Devil, who believe KLF and Smokey are still both yet to pit, so that's why they're quite high up at this stage of the race. And again, it's all about consistency around here. We're only now at the halfway point of this race, and we're seeing mistakes from most of the drivers. And the good thing is, with it being a wide circuit, incidences can be avoided.
Yeah, they definitely can. And Peace is now trying to get back on Smokey Devil for 7th place, but D-Biggs runs wide, but there's nowhere for Matt to overtake.
As we come to the halfway point of this race, the poll will end for votes on who you think is going to take the win. And let's be honest, it's going in the way of Overtaker. 75% of you reckon that Overtaker will win this. 12% for Peaceful and Matt, and 0 for Biggs. And Biggs actually is the net 2nd place man, so he's the closest attacker for the race lead. But Overtaker's got such a gap over these two. He could come in the pits and he'd possibly be 10 seconds ahead. I think we figured it out. It's about 20-second pit stop here because it being such a short pit lane.
Yeah, so you'll definitely get out well in front. Matt, this straight shouldn't seem long enough for the Mercedes to use its straight line advantage.
Oh, Max has a wiggle there.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're now closing on Max. So if I was Max, I'd be into the pits. Kelly now comes into the pits as well, as does Smokey Devil.
Smokey Devil and KLF there just seem to be following one another, and just Overtaker and Max still yet to come into the pits. But Overtaker really trying to extend his stint here.
Yeah, he did. As it cut to Peaceful there. Matt, yeah, the Mercedes just doesn't have enough. Doesn't have a long enough straight to use its power to get past the car in front. They're definitely closing in on Max. Max looks like he's struggling for pace. He's in the high 2-minute freeze, whereas these guys or D-Biggs last, that was 2:02.5, so he's near enough at 1.5 seconds quicker, and that black and red Audi is becoming ever closer to these two. So they come down into the hairpin. Oh, D-Biggs just misses the apex. Matt's going to have a look up the inside, but D-Biggs is just going to have the inside. again, Overtaker's now going to come into the pits, and we expect him to have the race lead back there. I think there's a 4-car train further back, which includes Peaceful. Well, I say 4-car train. They're a bit spread out, but I think it includes Fury, Sutty, Peaceful, and Argent.
It does indeed. KLF and Smokey having a great little fight at the back of the pack as well. But Overtaker has been and done and on his way out of the corner, out of the pits lane, as Biggs and Matt get really close to one another. Matt's going to make the move for turn 1. Biggs is going to keep his line on the outside, but Biggs now just having to defend, but he's gone to the outside, and it's Matt down the inside of turn 1. And even if Overtaker does take race wins, Matt needs to make sure that Overtaker doesn't score too many points as they head to Daytona, where the Mercedes should be strong. Both of these guys, Biggs just touches the curb and has a wiggle, and Matt pulls out of it as Max is in the pit.
Yeah, D-Biggs is going to have the inside lead, and Matt can't hold it right away around the outside, so we're back to status quo again.
Max has dropped into that train there. He's dropped in the Peaceful Fury Sutty train there, and he's right on the back of Sutty Apex. So Max has done quite well for himself there in the pits. He's managed to drag himself up into the top half of the grid, sort of. He's just on the back of Sutty Apex, which will put him in the top half. So can he find a way past that Lamborghini?
Yeah, he ran wide, but Sutty's had a wiggle. He's got to be careful because Peaceful's looking on.
Matt's alongside Biggs. Matt and Biggs, they're very close to one another. Oh, Biggs nearly hits get hit by the back of Matt there. Matt with a flash of lights there. I'm not sure why, but looks like Biggs and Matt having a cracking race so far here, as KLF is back into the pits again. Is that good of damage? Possibly so, hitting a tyre wall. But Overtaker, after his pit stop, guessed around 10 seconds. He actually had a 7-second gap by the time he came back on track. So not a big advantage as I would have thought. But these two, too busy racing one another and allowing Overtaker to get away.
Yeah, I think they've realised that.
Oh, Biggs has gone deep.
Yeah, Biggs has gone deep. Matt's going to look for the cutback. But he just can't. Like, the Audi's got very good traction off the corners, and the Mercedes just can't put speed down quickly enough, because by the time it's got its speed down and closing in, it's time for another corner. This is probably the best. Yeah, this is the best place for the Mercedes, but even this I don't think is long enough.
I think Mercedes' best opportunity is probably out of turn 1 and turn 2, and then possibly down towards turn 4 and 5 as well, where the straight is ever so longer, and Matt needs a good run through turn 1 to gain that advantage really, and then send it down the inside. Oh, Matt has a twitch there, and Biggs now will probably extend the gap now. So as I said, advantage out the corner, and he's just thrown it away. The biggest winner out of all the pit stops is your man in P4, the man on his 50th appearance here. And Brava is up at the 4th place position, and he gains massively through that.
Yeah, he does it. He does indeed. He's got about a 10-second gap to Brava. The person who's also the most is Peaceful. He's down in 8th place.
I think that's a lot of mistakes from Peaceful himself. He's obviously now off the pace of 2:05.0 was his best lap, and I think he's under a little bit of pressure, or no, he's putting pressure on the backs of Max now, so hopefully he can try and find a way past on Max. But currently your race leader well out in front is Overtaker, with pretty much a 10-second gap between these two, and these two have been battling it out since lap 1. D-Biggs, can he hold on for a 2nd place? And I think he's had a win here already this season at Imola, which was his best result. Can he get close to a 2nd place here and really get himself back in his championship in the mid-pack? But right now, Matt has to be very smart here. He wants to think points, as Max now is right on the back of Sutty Apex.
Yeah, Max has probably got the hardest position, because he needs to get past Sutty. But if he has a go, it doesn't come off. He's got Peaceful right behind. He's got Argent not right on the back as well. So there's a chance that Max, if he goes for it, mucks it up, he might lose 2 positions out of this. So he's now dropped off the back of Sutty a bit and just back into the clutches of Peaceful. But Matt and D-Biggs are close once again. Is Matt going to have a look up the inside into turn 1? He gets in the slipstream. Mercedes just doesn't have enough grunt. Matt might have put a bit more downforce on it, and he just can't get up the inside. He gets
the problem with Matt's line. the problem with Matt's line into turn 1, he goes in deep and then runs wide on the exit. Well, Biggs goes in wide and exits tight, so it gives him a better drive out the corner. But Matt is going to look into turn 3 though. He's down the inside, but Biggs, wide berth, and you can hang it out wide, and the next car just can't find a way past. It's very difficult to overtake. There's many opportunities to overtake, but it's very, very easy to defend because you can just hang it wide. As Emplava just in the background as well. He's not too far off these two. He's 7 seconds actually. It's Matt on the outside, but again, wrong side of Biggs.
Yeah, wrong side of Biggs. Someone's wiped the tyres, so I wonder whether that's Kelly who's wiped those tyres. Yeah, D Biggs is positioning his car really nicely, but Matt having a look up the inside, he just can't get close enough.
The problem is Biggs makes little deep mistakes. He goes wide in places, and that gives Matt a sniffing opportunity. But because of the layout of this circuit, this is as close as Matt's been to Biggs at the minute, and this actually forced Biggs to defend. Matt's going to be on the outside. He's going to be very brave to get that job done, but it is doable. But Biggs just goes in a bit deep. But he gets the drive.
He gets the drive, and he has the inside. He'd have the inside for the next corner. I think Piesel's made a mistake because he's now dropped down to 9th behind Argent because he was right on the back of Max. So Piesel not having a good first race whatsoever, and he was in the lead at the start, and he's now down into 9th place.
He had a very good start to this race, and now towards the end of the half it's just going backwards for him again, probably doing a couple more peaceful pirouettes. We don't know, as there is a tight fight in the middle pack as it's between Sutty, Max and Argent. But right now we're still watching this fight, closest fight on track, Biggs versus Matt, as they go into turn 1, and Matt just on the back of Biggs there. He goes a little bit deeper this time. Matt has a sniff opportunity. He's got his nose alongside, but it's not enough as Biggs just hangs it wide. Matt is on the outside. He's going to be stuck there for turn 3. Can he get the job done? Biggs has the better run. Audi versus Mercedes. German engineering versus one another, and they go into turn 3, and Biggs will just hang on to that position.
Fury's made a mistake because
Matt's just had a wiggle.
Yeah, they made contact. I was then about to jump to Fury because Fury's made a mistake. He's dropped down to 8th. Sutty's up to 5th, and he's side by side with Max. Is Max going to hold it right the way around the outside? He's gone very wide, but he's going to have the inside line. He's still there, but I think Sutty's no. The Audi's still going to be there, and is Sutty going to run the outside? No, Max dives down the inside, but has he gone wide? He has. Sutty comes back to the outside, but I think Max is going to have this now. And Max looks like he's got up into 5th place once the cameraman gets back. But Sutty, he's going to have the inside line again.
He's going to do a Sutty
Max
there.
Right round. He's going to hold it right round the outside, but he's gone very, very, very wide. And I think he might have just lost that position. And he has indeed. Nursing right Argent right on the back.
Going back to the Matt and D Biggs incident, do you possibly think that Biggs might have had a little bit of a wiggle and Matt might have just got caught out by that and had to hit the brakes momentarily? But right now Biggs is still in front, but if we want to head back to Argent, he's right on the rear bumper of Max now. He's looking to try and make any opportunity. He's alongside. As we now head down towards the back end of the circuit, and Max just has a little bit more of a run on Argent, but Argent really trying to attack Max right now, and Argent carrying on where he left off at Hockenheim. A great running here. His best result this season has been a 6th place position. Can he match that by getting past Max here as they come up to the final end of this sector? And right now Max struggling. Matt is alongside of D Biggs once again, but just not able to get the run. As you can see, Biggs is able to carry that speed. Well, Matt had to touch the brake, and Biggs stays in front again. While this has been happening, Overtaker has been lapping in the 59s. Again, he is a 10th off the record, which is held by BT Target in the McLaren, as Matt looks down the inside, but he can't find a way through.
Yeah, Matt really wants that 2nd place. He knows the race has gone. There's only, you're on lap 12 or 15, so the laps are dwindling away. But
also, Jamie, look, I was just about to say, yeah.
M5 is at 4.8 off the back. So if these two start banging wheels, this could invite M5 for a podium on his 50th appearance.
If you're in Matt's shoes right now, you've got to be thinking championship for sure. It's 8 points separating you and Overtaker. Yes, you might be struggling here at Brno, sorry, but you've got to be thinking next round at Daytona, the Mercedes should be the favoured car. Do you think it's just damage limitations for Matt here?
Yeah, but say if there's a car in front and you know you're quicker than the car in front, then by all means have a go, but just don't do anything stupid.
As he looks to try and make a move on the Biggs, he tries to get the undercut on him, but once again, Matt will have the run for the outside of the chicane, and all Biggs has to do is just defend the inside and make sure he hits his apex, which he does. There's tyres flying across the screen there, as Max giving Argent a flash of the lights. Doesn't want to be doing that too much, or else he will get a penalty for excessive flashing. But right now, Matt right on the rear of Biggs here, and he's been there the whole race, and he just can't find a way through.
No, he can't find a way.
Oh, he's got to run.
He's got to run. But he's going to be on the inside. But D Biggs has got a better run off the corner and pulls back in front. But is Matt going to have to send it into the first corner? He does. Is D Biggs going to hold it around the outside? Or is Matt finally going to get this done? D Biggs still there, but I think the Mercedes has finally got this. But no,
Biggs is there. Biggs is still there.
No, Matt's got him, but the Audi's going back up the inside. Matt comes back to the outside to go right round the outside.
Oh, great race in between these two, both giving each other respect and racing room as Matt pushes him wide. The cameraman is terrible because it's not allowing us to see this great fight, and Biggs came off worse. Matt is now up in the second place position.
He is indeed. Max got back past Argent as well, and Fury's now right on the back of this. So we'll cut to this battle because it's a four-way battle. So he's a little way up the road, but the two Audis of Max and Argent swapping positions on that lap twice, and Fury's now getting a sniff of this. But Argent's dropped it.
Argent making a mistake there, and remember guys, the top, as 11 cars started, the top 6 will not be able to qualify. So Overtaker, Matt, Biggs, Emperor, Sati Apex and Max right now will not be able to qualify. Fury, Argent, Peaceful, Smokey and KLF will all be able to qualify for race 2. But Jamie, this race already been very, very interesting, especially between the Matt and D Biggs fight, who are still very close to one another, 6/10 separating those two, as Biggs is still relatively close to Matt. He might be able to come back at him later on, but he's got one more lap to do it really, as Overtaker has absolutely annihilated it here this evening, constantly in the low 2 minutes and into the 59s at times. Matt, on the other hand, and Biggs have put on a fantastic show between these two. Very good racing between these two.
Yeah, it's been very good racing between these two, considering what happened at Zola earlier in the season. It's good to see that these two have got respect for each other.
Yeah, and I just think Matt just has the upper hand right now, and now he's in clear air. He's actually a little bit quicker. Embrava, that lap was quicker than the pair of them. So Embrava, what could have happened if he hadn't got caught up in earlier incidences at all? As can top 5 qualify, or top 6 can't qualify. It's top 6 cannot qualify. So like I said, Overtaker, Matt, D Biggs, Embrava, Sati Apex and Max all can't qualify for race 2. And let's go on to this man. We haven't seen him all race. We saw him at the start. I haven't seen him since. Overtaker, Jamie, what a way to start the night.
Yeah, what a way to start the night indeed. Max might be able to qualify for race 2 yet, because Fury's now got past him.
Fury has got past. Max has gone round. Max has gone round as he managed to stay out of trouble, as Argent now comes around. Fury's gone. These guys all just dropping it on the last lap. They all don't want to be they all want to qualify for the next race, as Peaceful's just coming onto the back of these lot as well. Max in 6th place. He will not be able to qualify at this stage.
Yeah, let's jump back to Overtaker though, because I thought he was coming through the final corner, but I think that's Kelly coming through the final corner.
D-Biggs and Matt are close again. 4:10 separating those two. They're relatively close again. D-Biggs right on the rear of Matt here, as we will have to pan back to Overtaker. Biggs is running out of time. He's got nothing to lose. But once again, Overtaker coming towards the line now. He will take his 6th win of the season here at Simplay Motorsport. Overtaker with a dominant win here will cross the line in 1st place position. Well done to Overtaker. But look at this. It's Matt and D-Biggs right to the end. Can Biggs find a way through? Or Emperava's at a moment. He's dropped right off the back of these guys. But Biggs, can he send it into the final corner? I don't think he can. I think it's going to be Matt who will take 2nd place. Good points damage limitation between him and overtaker, but it will be Matt who will take second place position. A great race between these two, and Biggs will take that third place position. Bravo, good recovery, back up to fourth place, and it's all about that sixth place position, and it's Arjun who's gone back up.
Yeah, Arjun got that sixth place position. I don't know. I don't think, in all honesty, that that Max is going to make. But Fury, he's going to be looking for that eighth place. He could even try and get Arjun on the end of this race. Yeah.
Sati Apex, probably one of the most successful drivers here at Brno, and he's going to come home with a fifth place position in the Lamborghini. So Sati Apex will come home in fifth place. Now it's that sixth place position. Arjun is going to hang in there, and we won't be able to qualify for race 2, but it's solid points for him, and it's going to be Fury in 7th and Max in 8th place.
Yeah. Pizza comes across the line in 9th. Not a good race for people. Smokey a long way back, nearly 30 seconds back. He's going to finish 10th. Hopefully a better race in race 2 for Smokey Devil. And Kelly, I think,
it's a lap down.
Yeah, I think it's a lap. He is indeed. So Kelly has finished 11th. So we're just waiting for Smokey Devil.
That's Smokey. Oh, just has a little pirouette as well, and just see comes towards the end of that. But overtaker Jamie absolutely destroying it in race 1, well ahead of the rest. But he will have to try and overtake cars in race 2. Just seen in the chat that Max isn't very happy with Fury. And a reminder to all the drivers, if you do want to put a Stewart's inquiry in, then please drop it into myself either on Facebook or drop it to my Discord as well. As H6 says, WP or Brno was fine race. Hi from the Czech Republic. Nice to see you from the Czech, and we are racing here at the Czech. And it is Overtaker who is your race winner. Does he beat the lap record? He does. He only just does it by 5,000th of a second to BT Targa. So Overtaker takes the new lap record here at Brno, a 159.7 to his name. Matt will take second place, D-Biggs in third, fourth is Emperor, fifth is Sati Apex, sixth is Arjun, seventh is Fury, eighth is Max, ninth is Peaceful Explosion, 10th is KLF. 10th is Smokey Devil, and 11th is KLF. Make sure you join us in a moment's time as we will get race 2 underway. We'll just take a small break, but make sure you tune in as we will get the drivers back on track. Top 6 will not be able to qualify, so Overtaker, Matt, D-Biggs, Emprava, Sati Apex, Argent, all will not be able to qualify for race 2, but we'll be back in a moment's time.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport. We're back and going to get underway for the second race here at Brno. And just a reminder that the top 6 cannot qualify for this race. So that would be Overtaker, Matimovic, D-Biggs, Emprava, Slutty Apex and Arjun all can't qualify for this one. As I'm just trying to refresh the tables, as the tables are now updated, and Overtaker still leading the way with 15-point gap now over Matimovic, and Fury in that third place position with Slutty Apex now up in the 4th ahead of Gary, and 6th is Peaceful Explosion, D-Biggs in 7th, Emprava in 8th, and now we're getting to the point where drivers will not be able to go for the championship, and that is Andy, the first man not able to win the championship. Smoky Devil in 10th place position with Emo Guy in 11th, 12th is KLF, 13th is Mazda, 14th is Argent, 15th is Monkey Boy, 16th is Neek, 17th is Max Mulder, and bringing up the rear is Disco. And the championship for the constructors look like this. Jaeger Motorsport lost a little bit to their lead to Silence of the Lambos, as both teams are missing a car each. There's now 39 points separating those two. Teletubby Motorsport in 3rd place. 4th is Audio Sport Pro Labs. 5th is Smoking Hot Racing. 6th is Pushing the Limits Racing. 7th is Simplay Racing. And 8th is Slingshot Motorsport and Sneaker Academy in 9th. And we've got the top 3 in with us, and we will start with the 3rd place man, D-Biggs. And it's been a while since we've spoken to you on the podium, but once again, Brno always seems to be giving you a good results. And once again, you had a cracking fight here with Matt, and you got yourself on the podium.
Yeah, good race. Car was hooked up nicely. Really enjoyed that with Matt. That was good. He got me in the end. Got a bit too eager, but no, thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Obviously, with the pace of Overtaker, didn't really look like you were able to give him a threat. So was it just more of trying to keep Matt behind as long as possible? And it was just a few little mistakes here and there that just allowed Matt to just eventually find his way through?
Yeah, that was it. It was, I think, over a lap he was a bit quicker than me. Ran deep into a couple of corners, and that's why he got me in the end. Well done to Overtaker. He had his own race there. He was gone. I want whatever fuel he's using, I think, for race 2.
Obviously this season back in the Audi, since the last time you drove it was actually back all the way in season 1, obviously running the Porsche and McLaren before. How is it running the Audi? And I bet it's nice having that old friend back here, because the last time you drove this car in season 1 you did quite well here at this circuit.
Yeah, they seem to do much better in these German cars. That old British McLaren I had last season, that was very good.
Yeah, whoever convinced you to go in that thing is a complete moron.
Exactly.
Obviously, you're going to be starting like mid-pack, near 3rd, so you're going to probably be 9th in this race. What can you do from there? And obviously, with being Brno, the track's quite wide, overtaking opportunities, possibly back on the podium again?
Yeah, same again would be nice. Let's see how we get on. As it overtakes, you just need to be patient here, and they come. So pick them off one by one, see where we end up.
Well, congratulations on the P3, mate, and we'll let you get back to your pie.
Thank you.
As we now head to P2 in the championship, P2 on track. Matt, Biggs gave you a run for your money there, and just looked like he had you in the traction zones, but you eventually got him. So P2, best you could do for that race.
Yeah, best I could do. Like Biggs said a minute ago, Overtaker was in a race of his own, and fair play to him, and congratulations on the win. But Biggs, what a battle that was. It was mega sort of time. He did get the traction out the corners, and you said it to Biggs. He said it earlier in the stream that, and obviously we discussed it last night. It is about being patient around here, and I don't think it's a circuit. The Mercedes doesn't like to be patient, and I think you could see from the fact that Emplava struggled early on, Fury struggled, Smoky Devil struggled as well. I know Emplava got back to being 4th, but just being that bit of patience behind the wheel sort of, I think, paid off for me.
Obviously, with, like you said, the Mercedes not being very strong here, is it really just damage limitation? Obviously, you know that Overtaker is going to be very strong here, and possibly going to be very strong at Osserschlaben as well. But there will be possibly 2 circuits where you'll be stronger in the Mercedes. Was this race just all about damage limitations?
Yeah, and I think that's what it's got to be. I said last week that I missed the Overtaker racing. I didn't want to really take the championship lead and have a big lead last week with him not being here, because it's not the way I want to. It's not the way I like to go about my things. I like to go about it where it's a fair fight. So the fact he's here now tonight and can pull that bit more of a gap over me, it's got to be damage limitations, and I've got to be looking at Daytona next week. But as much as you're looking at next week, and as much as you're looking at Monza at the back end of the season, you have still got to focus on the job you've got to do tonight.
Yes, definitely so. And tonight the game seems to be wanting to give you a chance, because you're going to be starting 7th on the grid, overtake a little bit further back. What can you do from there?
I think the key is to get a good start and clear the traffic, and hope and pray that that I can stay ahead of Overtaker for as long as possible. We've had some good fights this year where we've had some good battles in defending. Obviously, Spa was we both kind of got penalised at Spa for being a bit too overly aggressive with each other. So that's something we've now, if we get to race each other in this race, we've got to correct, both of us, that is. And you know, hopefully I can do a bit of a D-Biggs and keep him behind me and maybe claw them points back in this second race. But again, hats off to Biggs and well done to Overtaker, and bring on race 2.
Well, congratulations on P2, mate, and we'll let you get back to your party. Best of luck for race 2.
Cheers, boys. Cheers,
As we now move on to your championship leader and P1 for this race, Overtaker missed out on Hockenheim, but you're back where you belong here at Simplay Motorsport at the top of the table, and that was quite easy for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was alright. It's a shame I missed Hockenheim, one of my strongest track. But I take my points today, so it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. So you definitely had the advantage over the rest of the pack here this evening. And also, congratulations on taking the lap record now of the race record. You've just taken it away from BT Targa. You now hold the record here at Brno. But obviously, same question from Matt. He had damage limitations. Is this all about gaining as much points as you possibly can before heading to the high-speed circuits of Daytona and Monza?
Well, I learned here that second races are always the hardest because you have to clear the traffic. So I don't want to hope for anything. So clearing the traffic is the main objective. Then to overtake Matt in the pits, hopefully not on the track, but if it's gonna be on the track, then I will give it my everything.
Well, obviously, like I said to Matt, obviously a circuit where the track's wide, it is possible to overtake. So best of luck for that one. But obviously, you're going to be starting, looks like P9 for this one. Once Smoky Devil gets a lap time in, and obviously just clearing the track and making sure you jump Matt for this one, and hopefully a possible race win on the cards.
Yeah, pit stop if everything goes to plan with clear track. If hasn't been done, then it should be okay. Podium at least.
Well, best of luck for race 2, mate, and once again, congratulations on your win. That's win number 6 to your name here at Simplay Motorsport, so congratulations on that as well.
Thanks.
As we just come towards the end of qualifying, Jamie, and his Peaceful Explosion back at the top of the table once again. He's on pole position at the minute. Max only half a second behind, and also I've just received a lovely message from an old driver of ours, as Xmart has just messaged me. I'll read the message out. You and the other guy, aka Jamie, don't know his name, commentating together is really good, really natural between you two, very flowing. Give my congrats to the other guy. What's his name, ? And now he's realised it's Jamie. Tell him from me that you two work very well together, and it's great. And thank you to the kind words of Xmar. But yeah,
thank you, Xmar.
As we are coming towards the end of qualifying here, and like I said, the top 6 couldn't qualify. Smoky Devil still yet to set a lap time. Maybe this is the lap time he can get on the board, as KLF actually improving here. He was in the 203s, he's now in the 202s, so he's finding some pace out there. But Fury, he's really struggling here at Brno.
He is indeed. Smoky goes 5th, but at least it means now he's above the non-qualifiers. Who have we got that's coming to the final corner? It's not Kelly, so it's going to be Peaceful. Peaceful, can he improve? He's half a second up at the minute. But yeah, Fury really struggling. He's 1.1 off the Ferrari. Ferrari at the minute. Peaceful doesn't improve. Who have we got next? That looks like KLF. Kelly comes across the line. No improvement. He's made a mistake on that lap. So who is going to be, Max or Fury? And it's Max, and Max is weaving, so that means he's getting ready to come onto a flying lap. He's got Fury behind, so you have to be careful because Fury's on a flying lap here, but I think Fury's now backed off. Fury backs off and Max goes through, but I think Fury is going to be on that lap as well, but he's hit the tyres.
Yeah, he's hit the tyres, that's going to give him damage.
He's hit the tyres again. That's his lap ruined. He's going to be starting 3rd at best. He's improved, but he doesn't go any faster. Kelly is done for the session. It's only, I know the other two are still out on track.
Sergeant in the chat asking, is there a threat of rain? We could check the weather just before this session started. You would have been able to see, and to me it just looks like clouds at the minute. No rain looking to be forecast at this minute, but Fury now has to really put a lap together.
Max has gone into the wall, so that is his session done.
Smokey, where's Smokey Devil? He's the next man, I think, is going towards the line. He will finish his lap time first. Is Smokey Devil on a lap to take pole position here away from Peaceful Explosion? Max is done. It's just Fury and Smokey, and I think Fury will struggle to find time because he might have damage to the front of his car.
Might well do so. Smokey coming around the final corner. Can he improve? Can he jump Kelly?
That is the question. Smokey Devil towards the line now. He's had a decent exit out of the final corner towards the line. What has Smokey Devil got underneath him? He stays 5th. Those guys really struggling here this evening, but it's going to be Peaceful Explosion at the minute, currently on provisional pole position here at round 18 here at Simplay Motorsport, and Peaceful does not improve, and I really don't think Fury's going to find any more time. He comes to sector 2. Is he up? No, he is down by a 10th. Is this where he lost all his time? This is where he hit the tyre walls though, Jamie, so he might be able to find a bit more time through this section.
Yeah, he might well be able to find some time as the 2 corners he's now coming up to. So if he can find about 3/10 of his starting on the front row of the grid, alongside the fast starting Ferrari, Fury gets these 2 corners beautifully right this time. Comes onto the pit straight, comes to the line. Does he improve? He does. He goes onto pole position.
Let's just wait for the confirmation there. Fury is on pole position. He's just stolen it away from Peaceful Explosion. It all was in the final sector as the time lost there. Fury on pole with Peaceful on 2nd place. With 3rd is Max Mulder. 4th is KLF 900. 5th is Smokey Devil with 6th place Matt Imovich with Sutty Apex in 7th. Argent will start in 8th with Overtaker start in 9th. D-Biggs in 10th. And bringing up the rear will be N Plava on his 51st appearance here, as Fury now gains another pole position. He will now go ahead of Mazda and the 4th best on this, the 2nd best on this grid, and Fury really needs to convert this pole into a race win if he wants any opportunity to go against Matt and Overtaker this season. But every single race that we come to, Fury is losing that opportunity.
Yeah, I think in this race is possibly Fury's do or die. Say Daytona, he could gain a few points, but with Matt being in the same car as him, he's not going to gain that many points. So he's got to make this race count. So this could be it for Fury's title challenge. He might well still be mathematically in with a chance, but realistically, he might well be out of it. It might just be down to a 2-horse race between Matt and Overtaker, but we'll have to see what happens at the end of these 15 laps.
Definitely so, as we're about to get underway. Guys, make sure if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss a single action here at Simplay Motorsport. You will not be able to miss any of the GT3s or the F2 Championship. And speaking of the F2s, make sure you have a look on Sunday night at 7 PM British local time, as we'll be live for the next round of the F2 Championship. Round 3 of the season. Can Jamie carry on his championship winning streak with 2 race wins at Algarve, or will he be under pressure from myself, Gary, or 4Z? Make sure you tune in on 7 PM to see that as we head to Circuit of the Catalunya in Barcelona for the next round of the championship. And also make sure you tune in next week as well, as Pro-Am will be returning back on track as we head to Daytona. Simplay's home, as we are about to sync up for round 18 here at Simplay Motorsport. Brno, last race of the week, and we are lights on and go here at Brno, and Kelly gets a great start there, but it's going to be Peaceful and Fury going towards turn 1. KLF is actually alongside them as well. Fury with a poor start is lost out to the Ferrari. Is he going to lose out to the Lamborghini of KLF, who's going right round the outside? There's Max on the inside of Fury as well. They're going to get pincered. Who's going to come out on top? Fury hangs it in there, and Kelly and Max come together as well.
Yeah, Kelly was away like a scalded cat. There was contact between Kelly and Max again. Where's Matt in all of this? Matt is in 5th. Has he gained any positions? No. Overtaker's down into 9th, so Overtaker's not had a good start. But M Plava
He's in 6th place position. What a start from Emplava. He was last, and he's now 6th place. KLF is on a fight with Matt at the minute, but we got in the background D-Biggs attacking Sutty Apex as well. Was there contact? Sutty's gone round. D-Biggs has gone. Peaceful's gone round, and he's over.
Yeah, Kelly's collected him as well, so that's their race is over. Matt is now up into 3rd, and Emplava is 4th.
Oh, Sutty's
already.
dropped it. Sutty's dropped it. He's just dropped it in the rear. Is Kelly going to get going? He's in the wall, and I don't think he's moving. I think KLF has just put it in the wall there, and Kelly's not getting back on track. He selected reverse gear. He's on the way.
Yep, and here come the top 2. Down the bottom of the hill, Fury versus Max. Is Max going to go right the way around the outside? He tries to, but Fury's got the inside lane. Emplava trying on the back of Matt Himovic, but he's side by side with Overtaker, and Overtaker's got the inside line.
And Emplava won't get bullied in. He's going to fight as well, but Overtaker, just with better grip, better traction, stays ahead of Emplava and moves up a place. He is 1 place behind his championship rival of Matt, and Matt want to keep Overtaker behind him for as long as he possibly can.
Will indeed. The Overtaker looks unstoppable at the minute. He's up from the back of the grid already, and he's going to be hunting his championship rival down. But Max looking staring at the back of the blue and orange Mercedes. Fury went a little bit deep there, but he seems to be able to get on the power a little bit earlier.
Goes deep, but he's able to take a tighter line on exit, would give him a better drive, as they've actually both pulled away from Matt and Overtaker, who actually lost a little bit of time here to the top 2. So can Max and Fury just extend their gap between these two. Emplava a little bit far behind as well. And I think that Smoky Devil under a little bit of pressure there from Argent.
Yeah, that is indeed Overtaker looking to get onto the podium. Emplava is running a bit wide there, and he could be susceptible to D-Big, so he's looking for his 2nd podium of the night. But in the minute, Fury and Max are trying to break away. Matt doesn't look like he's got the Mercedes hooked up at this moment. Kelly into the pits straight away. I'm surprised Peaceful hasn't come into the pits, but he's still going because he's ahead of Sutty Apex at the minute, and down in 9th place after another brilliant start.
Peaceful obviously involved in that 1 lap incident with KLF, and obviously carrying damage with the pros. They have to pit again within the rules, so they can't just give significant damage as proof. They will have to pit again no matter what, so KLF will have to come into the pit again. And Peaceful right now is probably just hanging out until the pit window opens, which will be the end of the next lap, which will be a lap freeze. Emplava's gone wide. What's wrong here? Emplava, I think he's having an issue.
He was very slow there. We'll see on the next straight whether the Audi comes waltzing past. He looks like he's got it back to normal. Yeah, he's got back to normal now. But Overtaker's off! Overtaker's off. He gets back on, but he's now back behind Emplava, so he's at the back of this group. So Matt, who's now got a big gap to D-Biggs, has there been contact with him and Matt, or has D-Biggs got involved?
Who knows? I don't think D-Biggs was really close enough anyway to the back of Matt and Overtaker. Anyway, I think they had a gap.
Emplava had a massive slip. That's Argent go. He's made a mistake at turn 1. Sutty's now only 2 seconds behind. You see him coming through turn 1.
Peaceful there, just struggling with damage as well. He's understeering like mad with the front end damage. Smokey having a much better race too here. He's right on the back of D-Biggs and lapping much better than he did in the previous one. But Overtaker, a lot of work to do here. We're not sure exactly what happened between Overtaker in the penultimate corner. He just seemed to be out on the gravel trap. Maybe he hit the brakes and had a snap on his own, or maybe something between Matt and Biggs. We're just not sure, as right now Biggs right now is the trolley train right now and holding up these 3.
Yeah, he is. He's got his own Biggs brigade behind him.
He has.
And Smokey's not close enough to make a move. And his team, our team order's going to come into effect here because he's got his teammate right behind him.
I don't really think that Smokey and Emplava have team orders here. I think Emplava will just have to try and race past him, but he has got the pressure of Overtaker breathing down his neck. Emplava runs wide there, and that's going to invite Overtaker to the inside, but he's not quite close enough. He's going to have to try and make a run on the inside. Nope, he's still there. So right now, the Mercedes Grunt is just staying ahead of the Lamborghini of Overtaker, and right now, this is helping out massively for Matt, who currently is trying to catch the top two so that he can try and score maximum points while Overtaker is struggling to clear cars.
Yeah, it's like we said in race one. It's so difficult to overtake. Emplava gives him a bit of the old hip and shoulder there.
I don't know if he had a little wiggle.
Overtaker comes straight into the pits to get out of the traffic.
First man into the pits with clear air. Can he clear the traffic a little bit easier by having the undercut? Will Emplava react to it as soon as possible? That is the question. Oh, as Emplava has a big wiggle through turn one, as Matt now is right onto the back of Max. He's brought that gap down to second. So Max is going to have something to think about now. He's got Matimovic behind him. It'd be really nice for this championship fight to go to the wire this season between Matt and Overtaker. Matt's still obviously a champion in Pro-Am, coming straight up into Pro. Can he win Pro on his first attempt? Obviously, no Gary tonight to help him out. With Andy as well, not in the championship. Myself, not in the championship. Overtaker is really giving this championship fight to Matt. And can Matt, towards this end of the season, have a go at this championship? He's on the back of Max. He gives him a flash to say, look, I'm coming for you, mate. Peace was in the pits as well. He's now pitted. He's obviously getting rid of the damage that he's had.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Kelly will be able to get past him now.
Kelly's just not having the night tonight, is he? He's down at the back of the pack again. He's going to have to pit at some point once again as well. So he's going to have to throw this one out the window and look at Daytona and Oschersleben to come back, and possibly a home opportunity at the Monza for the Lamborghini, as Matt now right on the back of Max, and Fury back at the pace he should be running. He's got a decent gap over Max right now of 3 seconds, as Kelly's into the pits again, so he gets his mandatory pit stop done.
Yeah, he gets that done nice and early. Matt having a look to the outside, just trying to make Max defend a little here. But Matt was in this position race one, stuck behind a Lamborghini, stuck behind an Audi rather, but Max bailed for the pits, so that gives clear air to Matt. But Kelly's now going to come right out in the path, but I think that Matt has cleared him in time.
And I think Emplava also into the pits by the looks of things. Yes, he is. Now, this could be interesting, Jamie. Emplava into the pits. Where is Overtaker going to feed out on that? He's got his own little fight at the minute with Sutty Apex, and he goes right around the outside of Sutty Apex. Where is Emplava? Is he moving? I see a dot moving. Is it Emplava? That is the question, as Sutty's made a moment. He's gone off.
He's in the tyres.
He is in the tyres. Emplava coming down to the end of the pit straight. Max is going to be in front of him. And then it's been done.
He's jumped Emplava, but he hasn't jumped the Audi.
No, he has not. Possibly the Audi of Max might be a little bit easier to overtake, but Emplava there losing out to Overtaker as he now tries to hunt onto the back of Max, who, reminder as well, was having a lot of pressure from Matt. So just take into in mind that the gap that Overtaker has behind Max, he could have a Mercedes in between as well.
Yeah, it could indeed. It will all depend what lap times Matt's doing. At the minute, Fury in the 2-minute ones, he's the quickest man now on track. So it'll be interesting to see what Overtaker can do on his first flying lap out of the pits, because at the minute it says 2:20, but that'll be his out lap.
Does indeed. Can he get a little bit closer to the back of Max? Right, Max running a little bit wide there, as does Overtaker as well, as Emplava even more wide in the background as well. Just be able to stick it within track limits. And regarding track limits here, Jamie, there's not really much that they can take here, because obviously track being very wide and very open, there's nowhere really you can cut.
No, there isn't really a lot anyway you can cut, because if you do try and cut anyway, you're just going straight on the grass.
You do indeed, as now Overtaker right onto the back of Max now. And how long is it going to take him to clear him, as Max looking to hold that line, as Overtaker look to the inside. A second, he's up on his best is Overtaker, so he's got a little bit of clear air, but Max is holding him up. And Overtaker jinks to the outside. Max goes to cover him, And Overtaker will have a look down the inside, and he's moving around a lot, but can't find a way past Max at the minute.
No, he can't. He can't find a way past. But I'm pretty sure Overtaker is going to be through very quickly. Max goes to the inside. The Lamborghini's in the slipstream. Here comes the Overtaker. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? No, he's not close enough. That last lap, the Overtaker was the quickest man on track.
Oh, Max has gone deep.
Yeah, an Overtaker. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Goes through into 6th place.
Easy pickings there for Overtaker, and he clears Max relatively easy there, as D-Biggs and Smokey still was relatively close to one another. That gap has just extended. But good little scrap between these two, as Overtaker now is 4/10 up on his best, and he did a 2-minute 0.11, so he's flying at the minute. Now he's in clear air. Matt, I would assume now would have to start thinking about covering Overtaker now, because with the pace and he's got a bit of clear air, Matt will now start to become under pressure as Raptor tries to get into the session. Sorry, mate, but a closed event here, so try again another day.
Yep.
Or if you want to join, then head over to our Facebook and our Discord page to sign up to the channel, and also like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Hit the bell to be notified for when we are live here at Simplay Motorsport. Thank you, Raptor, for allowing me to put that plug in.
Yeah, he's not. Oh, as Max has got sideways and he's off. Is he going to have? He's in the wall as well. He's doing lose the position to Emplava, and Max Mulder's second race, has unfolded rapidly. Has he got suspension damage? The car looks to be pulling it all, so he's got a 25-second gap to Sutty, so he might be okay for a bit, but he looks very slow. He's lost a lot of time. Is any of the top lot gonna pit? What about Argent?
No, they're all staying out.
They're all staying out for the moment.
So Overtaker going for that early pit stop. He's currently on his current fastest lap at the minute. So as he comes to the line, is he going to break himself into the 2 minutes again? Or does one better? He's in the 59.8. So Overtaker is flying right now. And I would be really worried of the top two. With Overtaker doing those lap times, and it's roughly about 20 to 25-second pit stop, Overtaker is going to be flying onto the back of him as Max has pitted again. So he's in the pits once again.
Yeah, he's back into fix that damage, so hopefully he can fight his way back after the pit stop, because he might be overtaken by Sutty here. Or is he on his... No, he's not his way out, so Sutty is more than likely going to overtake him. Peaceful might do him as well, but Kelly would definitely... He won't be done by. I think he's on the way out now, so he's going to be right on the back of Peaceful Explosion.
Well, Kelly currently a lap down and in between Smokey and Argent at the minute, so Kelly's definitely not going to go any further than 11th at the minute, but at least he's going around scoring points, and he's going to finish the race as well, so he won't carry a penalty or a qualifying ban for Daytona, so that's the main thing. Is it me, Jamie, or does it look like Matt just seems to be a little bit quicker than Fury at this stage and is starting to bring the gap down?
Yeah, he is starting to bring the gap down, and perhaps this is Fury. Yep, this is Fury coming straight into the pits. Is Matt going to follow him, or is he going to continue on for another lap? Matt's going to continue on for another lap. Is anyone going to follow him in? Let's see Fury stop. Is it going to be a quick one?
A center in the chat. The center in the chat is bigging on Max at the minute, and Fury has gone. Where is Overtaker? So there goes Biggs, there goes Smokey. The next car should be Argent. So Fury with a decent gap now over the Overtaker. So he's going to come out just behind KLF.
Yeah, he's going to come out behind KLF, but in front of Argent. So he's got a car in between himself and Overtaker. On lap 8 out of 15. Here at Brno, so and Overtaker is about 6 seconds behind Fury. So Matt, he's going to come out roundabout where Argent is.
So yeah, we're looking at roughly, what, 22, 24 seconds as Peaceful Explosion now having a race with Sutty Apex, and he's going to go around the outside of Sutty Apex, and it looks like he's got a better drive here, as Sutty just struggling with damage there. Has he hit something again? And Sutty, oh, he's all over the shot, and he just allows Peaceful through. But when you're on the pad, you're really difficult to carry the damage. You should know yourself, Jamie. It's really difficult to carry it.
Yeah, oh, and he spun it. Is he going to be coming into the pits this time? He's mowing the grass, getting bogged down on the grass. I think he was probably just sorting out a pit strategy there. Let's just go on board with Sutty. Is the car sort of crabbing? So this will give Max 9th place. Yeah, the car's crabbing.
It is indeed. So Max will now go back up another position and gain some more points there. As we've got a couple more comments coming in saying go Fury. So Fury now coming up to the top end of the circuit, but it is Matt coming into the final corner. Has Matt gained enough time? But look at Overtaker, he's brought the gap down to 2.3 to the leader.
Matt's into the pits.
So this is going to be interesting. Fury is ahead of Overtaker on track, but is Matt going to be ahead of these two by the end of the pit stops? Fury into the final corner. Has Matt had a good stop?
It was quite a long stop.
It was decent, but Big Smokey all in, so they're getting their pit stops done as well. Where is Fury? He's ahead.
It's going to be close between Matt and Overtaker, but I think Matt has actually got up into 2nd place. Yeah, Matt is just in front of Argent, and he's into, but Argent is having a go at him here.
Yep, as Kelly's getting right out the way here, staying to the left-hand side and allowing these guys to race. And Argent right onto the rear of Matt there, and Argent just flashing his lights to say thank you to Kelly, as Kelly now has Overtaker behind him. Oh, I think the Overtaker got caught out there, and now Sutty Apex is behind him as well. 2 of the Audio Sport Pro Labs boys both trying to get out of the way, and Overtaker now clears Kelly. And Kelly does a very good job as Sutty Apex and Kelly on track. They're actually fighting for position now for 10th and 11th place.
Yeah, they are indeed. So that'd be interesting to see whether they start trying to knock lumps at, trying to knock 10 lumps out of each other. But Argent has dropped a bit of a way back now from Matt, and yeah, Matt having a good stop. Fury probably having the best stop. He's got a 6-second gap over Overtaker.
Yeah, but the gap between Matt and Fury has basically maintained. It hasn't really gone either way. So Matt is just back where he was, as we're on a lap 9 here. And I did forget to put a poll up, but we can quickly do a one now. But at the minute, Fury just needs to keep his head clear, and he could be on his way to another win here. Race 2 winner. Who is it going to be?
He could be indeed. Overtaker's now catching on to the back of Argent, but Argent, of course, has still got to go into the pits, but he has a wiggle, he spun it.
He'll definitely be coming into the pits now after that one, as they head towards the final part of this race, the last third of this race, and Argent comes into the pits.
He does indeed. Fury quicker than Overtaker last lap by about half a second. So it would be interesting to see what Matt can do in his first line lap. D Biggs is only 9 seconds down the road, and you see the 2 battered Lamborghinis behind.
As a poll has now gone up for your race 2 winner. Is it going to be Fury? Is it going to be Overtaker? Or is it going to be a Matt? Only 3 for this one. Biggs just not quite in that zone to probably take the race win here. But get your votes in on who you think is going to take this win. Overtaker, probably the fastest man at this track. But Fury, actually fastest man that last lap, and is trying to extend the gap over Matt and Overtaker, but these two are slowly working their way onto the back of Fury.
They are indeed. So, as I said before, it'd be interesting to see what Matt's lap timing. But look, Overtaker 1.7 off the back already, so he's closing in on Matt. It would be interesting to see, because there's one thing catching, but another thing overtaken, and if he takes a while to get past Matt, Fury could be down, could be for this race win. As Overtaker has a massive slide coming out of here. This is the closest battle on track at the minute, 1.6 seconds. There's no other battle. I think Kelly has spun the car because he has indeed, because Sutty is there, Kelly is, there's 2 cars in between them at the minute, and I think Max has now been lapped by Fury.
Yeah, Fury a little bit slower that lap because he probably had to clear Max as Overtaker has brought the gap down once again to Matt. Fury crosses the line at 2:18 and Matt 2:02 and Overtaker at 2:01, 9/10 faster than Matt that last lap. But also Matt 6/10 faster than Fury. My maths is a little bit slow, as you can tell. It's coming towards up my bedtime, and that's Max. That's Max having a moment again. So Max just getting out of the way, and in Pro-Am he looked very consistent. Oh, again Overtaker has a moment through that same corner of turn 3, just a little bit shaky there. Max really dominant in Pro-Am, and since he's come into Pro, he's really struggled.
Yeah, he's had, the drivers are giving him a bit more of a workover than in Pro-Am. Max had it all his own way in Pro-Am, so he's just probably feeling the pressure a bit now, but he's not done the whole season, so he's got nothing to fight for. So he doesn't need to push the car hard. But Overtaker 1.2 is the gap now to Matt.
Not been his best lap. He was down to 1.1 by the end of the lap before, so he's actually lost 2/10 this lap, and I think that was all because of that turn 3 incident. Just a little bit excited into that corner, as it just seems to be ebb and flow between these two. And also Fury's now starting to match one of these guys, as Fury now is only just 3 seconds ahead, so Matt's not massively gaining on him. But right now, as it stands, I think he'll be back to 8 points once again, as Sutty's at a moment.
Sutty's round, and he's got no headlights. I think Max might have been round as well, because Sutty overtook Max, and I wonder whether he's just been caught out by Max sitting in the middle of the track.
On our screen, on Sutty's car, he does have one headlight on, so he's still
got back past him. So is Sutty going to be making a trip back to the pits once again? Overtaker's got the gap down to 0.6 of a second to Matt, and you can see the pair of them are closing on Fury, but there's only 4 laps of the race left.
Matt gained 2/10 on Fury, that's last lap, and Overtaker gained 4/10 on Matt. So this is really coming down to the wire here. Fury has really got to stay clean until the end, because Matt is going to have his hands full with Overtaker behind him, and we know Matt can be quite aggressive in defensive driving, and Overtaker's going to look down the inside there. He has a sniff up an opportunity, and Overtaker thinks better of it, but this is going to be helping Fury out massively, seeing that these two are now going to be squabbling, and they got a championship to fight about. Fury at this stage is a last attempt to get back in this championship, but I really don't see it happening now. It's between these two, really.
It is indeed. Matt is going to defend for all he's worth for this second position, because he knows this is meant to be a track that the Lamborghini is quicker at, and if he finishes in front of Overtaker around the track, it would be a major win for him.
I think it's going to be
he's had a wiggle coming out of there. Overtaker's going to have a look up the inside. Nothing Matt could do, and they make a bit of contact.
That's a little bit ambitious there from Overtaker, but he's going to go around the outside, and he gets the job done. And Matt flashing his lights, I think that's fair in love with waters, hard racing, and Overtaker gets the job done.
Yeah, now he's going to set off after Fury, and can he go for the London buses?
Can he do that? Indeed. I think Matt really has no answer here to Overtaker. It was going to happen eventually, and Overtaker needed to get a job done as quickly as he possibly did. Caught Matt out a little bit there, and I don't think Matt was quite expecting him to send it into that corner. And Fury looked like he was a little bit loose into turn 1 there, and he's just losing time hand over fist to Overtaker here. Fury has really got 3 laps now until the end of this race, and at the minute it's 80% of you reckon that Fury is going to take the win, 20% reckon Matt. Well, at the minute Overtaker is the man on the hunt.
He is indeed. He's got the gap right down. D-Biggs and Smokey are quite close as well. So Smokey, I think he's going for his best result of this. Best result of the season. What is Smokey's best result?
Smokey's best result this season has been a P4. So if he gets past D-Biggs, he will match his best result. And he's done that twice. He's done that at Silverstone Classic and at Spa. Still yet to get on the podium this season. Biggs, obviously, his best result was first place at Imola. So right now, these two are going at it for the last few points here in the top 5. But Matt now looking to try and get on the back of Overtaker. But at the minute, just Overtaker has more pace at the minute.
He does indeed, but they're halfway through lap 13, and he hasn't exactly. Overtaker's brought the gap down a bit to Fury, but he's not brought it down massively. So, for Fury, has seen Overtaker get through, given Fury the kick up the bottom to up his pace, knowing that there's only 2 and a bit laps left.
So we're just coming down to the end here, and Overtaker is bringing the gap down 1.2. It was 2 seconds at the start of this lap. Matt has got to hope that Fury defends for his life here so that he can try and get himself back onto the back of these two. But right now, Fury is driving that Mercedes as best he possibly can. Overtaker, I think, had a wiggle in that final corner there. As we are now coming towards the end there, Matimovic sets his best lap there, but it's nothing compared to Overtaker.
No, nothing compared to Overtaker. But Overtaker has not got long left at all. He'll be coming through this corner once more to see whether he can try and do Fury. But say at the minute the gap is 1.3, and Fury's managing it well at the moment. But yeah, Overtaker's now got the gap down. Max is back in the pits, so Kelly is going to jump Max and is going to finish 9th. So
that's why you always go to the end, ladies and gentlemen. In any race, you keep going, because even though KLF looking like he was out of this one for decent points, he's going to work his way back up into 9th place position, obviously due to Max and Sutty having their issues. And Max, he's not even getting going at the minute. Sutty Apex, oh, he is now, so Sutty Apex might be able to catch him at the end.
Overtaker is right on the back of Fury now. Fury is going to be sweating like mad inside that Mercedes.
He is indeed. When the pole there, Fury with 67%. Is he going to be able to hang on for one more lap here as Overtaker is bringing the gap down? And we also will put up driver of the day.
Overtaker looking for any moves now. Fury is going to defend like he's never ever defended before, as they come through the penultimate and last corner to start the last lap of the race when they come down the straight. Overtaker gets in the slipstream. What's Fury going to do? Fury's going to go to the middle. He's going to the inside. Overtaker goes to the outside. Is Overtaker just going to send it round the inside? No, they make a bit of contact. Fury's going to send him the long way round, but Overtaker's going to have the inside. Overtaker's had a wiggle, but I think they give each other room. Overtaker's been across the gravel and he backs out of it.
The vote for driver of the day has gone up. Overtaker, Matt, Biggs or Fury. Get your votes in. And Holty in the sachet. Come on, Teletubby Racing. He's chanting on his driver to say, come on, Fury, get to the end. As Matt is also just starting to creep on the back of these two while they start racing. Fury has got 3/4 of the lap to go. He's done sector 1. He's coming into sector 2, possibly where this Lamborghini's at its strongest.
Yeah, he's going to be looking everywhere. Fury trying to play away, but he hit the curb there.
Fury doing everything right here. He's doing everything right. Overtaker can't find a hole. He's having a look, but Fury covers him. He forces him there. So Overtaker's making Fury go defensive, making moves that he probably doesn't want to do, and causes him to make a mistake. But Fury now, can he handle the pressure? Matt is within a second and a half, but Overtaker's on the grass.
Yeah, Overtaker on the grass. He's going to have a look down the inside. This is the corner where he done Matt. Is he going to have a dive down the inside? He's looking. Fury goes defensive. He's looking. Fury gets the car stopped. Can he get the drive off the corner, or is it going to be Overtaker? Overtaker's going to jump in the slipstream. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? He's weaving like mad behind Fury. They come side by side. He just goes
Overtaker sends it. Is he going to get it done?
He's touched the grass and Fury's kept it. Can Overtaker get the drive off the line, off the corner? No, Fury's going to get race 2 win here. Overtaker second, Matt third.
What a race there. Fury hanging on by the skin of his teeth there towards the line to take another win here at Simplay Motorsport. That will now put him on 30 wins here at Simplay Motorsport, and he is getting ever so closer to being the ultimate record holder here at Simplay Motorsport for the most race wins. Still myself at the top of the table. He is only 7 away as D-Biggs and Smoky Devil come across line for 4th and 5th. M Brava will come home in 6th place position, with Argent coming home in 7th as well. KLF, Max and Sutty are all going to hope that this race would never returns back to Brno, which obviously being the 2nd season in a row it's been on the calendar, we won't see it for next season. But Brno, once again, Jamie has produced some awesome racing here.
Yeah, brilliant race 2 there between Fury, Overtaker and Matt as well. Massive round of applause to the top 3.
He had to give it a go on the final lap there, didn't he? He tried the outside of Fury towards the penultimate corner, but wasn't able to get it done there. As Peaceful Explosion will come home across line for an 8th place position. What could have been? He looked like he had the pace. He had a great opportunity earlier on as Max is going to cross the line in a 10th place position as well, and Sutty Apex just coming up behind him as well. And like I said, those 3 will probably wish that this round is fully over and they can head to Daytona, which will be the next round, as Sutty finishes off with a drift.
Yeah, he finishes off with a drift and wiping out the cone as well.
As it is Fury who takes the win here for round 18, with Overtaker right on his bumper. In the end, it was 1/10 separating those two. Matt will finish in 3rd place, Biggs in 4th. 5th is Smoky Devil, 6th is M Plava, 7th is Argent, 8th is Peaceful Explosion, 9th is KLF, 10th is Max Mulder, and Sutty Apex in 11th. And I believe the championship standings are being updated as I speak. And I think they have. And the championship looks like this. Once my laptop decides to refresh. Come on, come on, come on. As Jamie just gets Fury in the chat. And the championship standings looks like this. Overtaker leads the way, but he's only got a 21-point gap over Matt as they head to Daytona, where the Mercedes should be at its strongest. Fury still in this championship hunt, 85 points behind. Sutty Apex, what I'm reading here, he's still technically, according to the table, but I don't think he will be mathematically in his championship. He's P4. Biggs gets himself all the way up to P5, and P6 is Peaceful Explosion. Gary dropping down to 7th, with Emprava up to 8th, and 9th is Smoky Devil. Andy slowly working his way down to 10th place with Ema Guy in 11th. KLF up into 12th. Mazda in 13th. 14th is Argent. 15th is Monkey Boy. 16th is Max Mulder. 17th is Neek, and 18th is Disco McDisco face. Constructors look like this. Jaeger Motorsport still leading away at this minute with a 33-point gap over Silence of the Lambos. With Teletubby Motorsport in that third place position with Smoking Hot Racing in P4. Fifth is Audio Sport Prolapse. And sixth is Pushing Limits Racing. Seventh is Simplay Racing with Slingshot Motorsport and Sneaker Academy, both not able to win the championship. Sneaker Academy obviously will be struggling, obviously just joined to the championship. And we do have, I believe, Overtaker and Matt. Do we have Fury in here as well? I don't think we do. So we'll start with Matt, and mate, it's just again, damaged limitation, wasn't it? You seemed like you had a good start. You had the pace on the other Mercedes boys. Couldn't quite get Fury, but third best that you could probably do in this race.
Nah, I should have been second, but it is what it is. Fury had great pace.
You say you should have been second. Why is that? Why do you think that you should have been in second place?
The position should have been yielded back. Bit of a push to pass, you know. Launch it up the inside, push me wide at the corner, keep the place around the outside. As I'm wiggling, you know, after the contact, and I felt that then, all right, maybe not confirmed for a second, but then a fight again at the end. But you know,
okay.
Lunge one up the inside, and push me wide. That's racing. That's sometimes how it goes, and to be looked at after, I'm sure.
Obviously, we then now head to the next round of the championship. We head to round 19 and 20, which is Daytona. Obviously, the circuit you're probably most looking forward to going to, obviously, Mercedes advantage. That gap has gone up, but possibly could go back down with the advantage of the Mercedes there.
You say a Mercedes advantage, but you come here tonight and overtake us 2 seconds quicker than anybody. You know, fair play to him for that. So I think the Mercedes advantage kind of goes out the window when you're racing against this man, because he's just rapid, he's pure speed. And I think the advantage next week goes out the window. I think it might make it closer. I'm hoping that the advantage will still be there for the Mercedes. But this guy's just rapid. He's just too quick, and he proved in race 1. You know, I suppose again in race 2 as well. He come through the pack, and he's just so quick. But yeah, I'd like to think that Mercedes is still going to have the advantage. My other problem is that the man who's won this race has got the Mercedes as well, so he's got the same stuff as me, the same gear as me, and it's going to be down to who can do it best.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on a P2 and 3 here this evening, and wish you the best of luck as we head to Daytona for the next round of the championship.
Cheers, boys.
As we move on to your second place man, Overtaker. Much more difficult race for you on that one, but towards the end there, Fury really made you work for it, but not quite close enough right to the very end.
Yeah, well, I should have won this race. I don't know what's up in the squeezing. He had the whole inside of the start of the turn. I mean, penultimate corner, but he pushed me off the track, and he said I was squeezing him on the inside. He pushed me into the gravel, so I was P11 or something. So I came as far as I could in this race. So it's okay.
Nonetheless, with a second and a first, you do extend that championship lead over Matt. You've got a 21 gap heading to Daytona, the next round of the championship. Daytona next on the calendar. Is that a circuit that you're looking forward to, or a circuit that you might seem to struggle on? Because obviously, like I said, the Mercedes should have the advantage at that track.
Well, I quite like the Daytona because it's a great track for the pet. So I think I'm going to be strong in Daytona as well.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on the win earlier on and the second place, and we will see you in a week's time as we head to Daytona.
Yeah, congrats to Fury. Great racing, mate.
As we do now move on to your race winner, Fury. I believe he's in the chat. Obviously, I didn't.
Sir.
Here he is. Fury, you are now 7 behind the ultimate win list here at Simplay Motorsport. You're bringing that gap down to myself. Congratulations on the P2. Sorry, the race 2. You weren't quite expecting that one for this one, were you?
No, obviously the Merc being all torque, power, straight line, this being the total opposite. It was just do what I can and just get the gap as much as I could. But Overtaker being as quick as he is in that Lambo, it's not easy. It is not easy one bit. keeping him behind is like just one of the most difficult things to do, especially around this track. It's not easy with the pace he's got.
Obviously, yeah, like I said, race 1 probably didn't go your way, but obviously with race 2, obviously now getting that 3rd place, 30th race win, getting closer to my record. Can you now be, in a few moments' time, the most wins here at Simplay Motorsport?
It would be nice, but obviously I've got Matt, Overtaker, and Plava. I've got so many people that are quick and aren't making it that much easy. It's definitely difficult to try and get the race wins, especially around tracks that don't suit the Merc. But obviously Matt being in the Merc, you've got Gary in the Merc as well. When it comes down to Merc tracks, you've always got to look at Matt and Gary as well, especially Emplavo. Those 3 are just so quick and hard to pass.
Yeah, obviously Daytona, like I said, next on the calendar. Obviously Mercedes advantage. Matt reckons that you're going to be a threat. Can you get another race win at Daytona?
Daytona is one of my favourite tracks for the Merc, so I can only really try. But Matt being as quick as he is, you've got Overtaker, Gary, there's always a fight going on regardless.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the win here. You're only 7 away now to matching myself for the most race wins here at Simplay Motorsport. And we'll see you in a week's time at Daytona. Jamie,
Yeah.
Brno once again delivering some great racing here. Overtaker not quite getting Fury at the end there, but nonetheless, it's been a great night's worth of racing. And also, your driver of the day.
Yeah, it's been a very good night's worth of race, and not. So I don't think you've written down too many things at all.
I don't think I've written anything, to be fair, but obviously
Yeah,
it is down to the drivers. If they feel like there's been an incident, they can then send their footages towards myself, either through a video clip or also through their stream. They got a clip, obviously, which lap and who involved, so they have to send that through me on Facebook Messenger or on Discord. But yeah, been good night's worth of racing, clean racing for most of it.
Yeah, good nights, clean night's worth of racing. Fear and Overtake a good race in race 2. Matt and D Biggs, good race in race 1, and my driver of the day goes to D Biggs.
Your driver of the day going to D Biggs. I'm going to go the way of Overtaker just because he's absolutely destroyed it here tonight. But the fans have made it a joint vote to Matt and Fury, and the championship now is getting close as Overtaker gains here, but can he continue that streak as they head to Daytona? That is the question. Can Matt bring that gap down? As also, make sure you tune in on Sunday night, 7 p.m. here, British time, as we will have the next round of the championship of the F2s, which is going to be at the circuit of the Barcelona, Catalunya for round 3 of the championship. Can Jamie keep on his winning streak, or will Gary, Fury, myself, Forzy, can stop him winning? And also tune in next week as we will head to Simplay's home. We'll be heading to Daytona for the evening race. Can Lucas Roth get his wheels sorted in a Pro-Am, and Little Leach, can he extend his championship lead, or will Ukbar also look to try and stop him as well? Also Gem Grill in that championship, but also the pros will be coming back. Can Mercedes be on top again? But from myself and Jamie and everybody here at Simplay Motorsport, it's good night.
Good night.